Because with Joe Biden struggling in the polls, Donald Trump is already making plans to once again take on the Washington swamp. In a recent interview with Fox News, he promised to start by exposing all the things the deep state doesn't want you to know. Well, almost all the things.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things. If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so.
That was a bit suspicious, right? Like 9/11, yes. JFK, yes. Epstein, man, let's no. I mean, look at the panic in Trump's eyes. I've seen more relaxed people on the exit row of a Boeing flight. And why, though? Like, why are you so weird with the Epstein stuff? It's not like Donald Trump has any particular reason to not want the Epstein files opened up. I mean, let's hear him out. Here is full answer.
I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Okay, he's definitely in that file. He is in the Epstein files. He's already like, look, there's going to be a lot of phony stuff in there. Names, pictures, my DNA. You can't believe any of it. He's obviously not worried about protecting other people. I mean, this is the same guy who said Obama was born in Kenya and Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK, okay? Now all of a sudden he's like, look, if you put some inaccurate information out there, it could really destroy someone's reputation, okay? We need to err on the side of caution here. Besides, it doesn't even matter. You don't need to ask Trump to declassify anything. He's just going to leave it at the buffet table at Mar-a-Lago. Luckily for America, Christine Nome isn't the only one in charge of keeping the country safe. We also got Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, two guys who look like they should be henchmen in a Ninja Turtles movie, but are somehow running the FBI now. And before he took over, Dan Bongino wasn't afraid to tell us the truth about what the FBI was covering up.
Nobody knows how much material people have on Jeffrey Epstein. It's unbelievable. The guy killed himself, and now nobody's going to know.
Yeah, exactly. Epstein killed himself? Ugh. Bongino knows the truth, and now he and Kash Patel get to see all the files. So on Sunday, they sat down for an interview to tell us what really happened. Because we know Epstein didn't just kill himself.
He killed himself.
What? He killed himself without air quotes? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard, all right? I was a single-issue voter on this. Why did you change your mind?
As a public defender, as a prosecutor who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Again, you want me to... I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I've never seen someone so sad that the deep state didn't kill someone. And also, hey, you can't talk so much shit about how the deep state did this and make it your entire personality, and then now you're in it and you're like just shrugging it off like, oh yeah, I guess they were right the first time they investigated this. Hey, if you fail that hard, you gotta let Hillary Clinton kill you, right?
By the way, can we just point out how crazy 2025 is? Most people can't afford to eat eggs anymore. Meanwhile, these two billionaires are attacking each other from different social media platforms that they each own. Maybe we should eat the rich. But Trump... Elon, let's calm down, all right? Things are getting a little too heated. At this point, we can still walk away from this, all right? Let's not say something we can never take back, right? Right?
Elon Musk tweeting within the past 1 minute, time to drop the really big bomb. At Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT, exclamation point.
That's what we were talking about. Which, now, to be fair to Trump, it is ridiculous. I mean, you can't just make wild accusations like that just because Trump and Epstein hung out once or twice, or Trump was in the flight logs, or Epstein called Trump his closest friend, or they went to parties and whispered, I can only assume biblical passages in each other's ear. I'm telling you, Epstein, 2 Corinthians, you got to check it out. It's f***ing awesome. It's not a crime to be in each other's hearts. And what indication has Trump ever given that there may be things within those Epstein files that may be concerning to him?
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there.
A lot of phony stuff in there. You can put anything in a file, say anything about anybody. By the way, just for the record, asking a 17-year-old masseuse if she's planning on staying in the United States, that's a legitimate question. And the rest of the video is AI. If there's a video. My favorite moment was when the head of the FBI, Kash Patel, found out Elon accused Trump of being on the Epstein list live while podcasting.
Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
Not your lane? Aren't you literally in charge of the Epstein files? I know my lane. I'm just a guy in charge of law enforcement domestically. Conspiracies, crimes, cover-ups, Home Depot parking, overcrowding,
The last bipartisan issue in America. What happened to Jeffrey Epstein? We've all been waiting for years for more details to come out about his crimes and his mysterious death. And now that Trump's in office and he said he'll release that information, we can finally get some answers.
The DOJ says its case closed on Jeffrey Epstein's alleged client list and his death.
After months of promising the public release of the Jeffrey Epstein client list, the Justice Department and the FBI now saying the client list doesn't exist.
The DOJ says it will not be releasing any more material from the case files.
What, that's it? You're just not going to release any more information? I've never been ghosted by a conspiracy before. I mean, this is crazy. I could have sworn that someone said there was an Epstein client list. Who was that?
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Oh, yeah, the Attorney General of the United States said the client list was on her desk. Let me guess, your desk also hung itself? Pam Bondi was supposed to release the pedophile list. If we wanted an attorney general to cover up sex crimes, we would have stuck with Matt Gaetz, okay? At this point, it's like the only way we can learn about who is a certified pedophile is if Kendrick Lamar makes a song about them. Look, I don't know what to believe anymore. Okay, can you just declassify something?
The Justice Department also releasing more than 10 hours of purported footage, which they say supports the medical examiner's finding Epstein died by suicide while in custody in 2019. The video allegedly shows the view from across Epstein's cell door in a Manhattan prison, indicating no one entered the area the night he died.
Is that background music to that? Finally, some transparency from this administration. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for debate.
The release of that surveillance video has fueled some conspiracies itself. There appears to be a missing minute at midnight.
It's very interesting that at the 11:58 mark and 58 second, the video jumps to 12 o'clock and is missing a full 61 seconds.
What is going on here? Why would they edit out 61 seconds? Was Epstein listening to a Beatles song and the government couldn't get the rights to it? And if that wasn't suspicious enough, when Trump was asked about it in his cabinet meeting today, he was over it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Yeah, why are you guys obsessed with the suspicious death of my best friend in a federal prison when I was president right before he was going to be on trial for sex trafficking? It's so boring.
Now, the impetus for Elmo's rant seems to be the Department of Justice memo that has just been released that said the Epstein sex trafficking case was officially closed and that no new information would be forthcoming. And while Elmo is demanding that the files be released, Donald Trump's response is brought to you by the letters FU.
You still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Unbelievable? You guys ran on it. Remember this?
We need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
This Epstein sex ring operation, I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Why would you have to change your pants to let us know who the pedophiles are? And why wouldn't you be wearing pants while you're researching this? And that was before the Trump administration took power. And by the way, they were still hyping the Epstein files after they took power.
We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
So people can expect actual movement on this. It's not just empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
Two of his wives and 10,000 unpaid contractors disagree. But these are all people who work for Trump that set the expectation. And I think because of that, surprisingly, MAGA world, for the first time in memory, isn't just slavishly acquiescing to Trump's reality distortion field.
Where did that whole case go? Where did all the files go? They just went nowhere? No one even believes that.
This stinks. This just reeks.
Something is horribly wrong here.
Pam Bondi needs to be fired.
Yes, Pam Bondi, the ringleader. She makes the decisions. The backlash wouldn't die. So Trump had to go back out and kill the backlash. Perhaps even making it look like a suicide. So this weekend...
You heard him, John! That's outrageous!
So this weekend, Trump tried to reason with his base using their shared love language, long, rambling Truth Social posts.
In a social media post, the president asked his followers, "What's going on with my boys?" and in some cases, gals.
Let me stop you right there. Not to be all woke, but I believe they prefer the terms bros and hoes. But sorry, go on. You were explaining why it was time to move on from the Epstein case.
Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more?
So, just to understand this, in a few months' time, we went from the Epstein files will expose the Democrats to the Epstein files were written by the Democrats and therefore can't be trusted, so let's move on. And then Trump brings up Hunter Biden's laptop as a reminder for all of us not to dwell on old conspiracy theories. What? So, problem solved? Right, MAGA world? Well, let's test it scientifically.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
Let me hear everyone who thinks sex trafficking should still be prosecuted say, hell yeah! Who wants to know more about a cabal of elite sex criminals? Just the ladies. So MAGA world is now in open revolt. You want to know how bad it's getting out there? They're literally burning their MAGA army uniforms. Yeah. And you know there's just another guy standing next to him going, you know you got to flip them. That's your problem there. You got to flip them. But clearly telling your base to just forget about Epstein isn't working. But if you know Trump, he can always just pivot to the classic Trump distraction. Throw something outlandish out there and watch the dogs chase the squirrel. I'm going to invade Greenland. I'm going to bomb Iran. He's going to try something big.
President Trump is reigniting his decades-long feud with comedian Rosie O'Donnell.
I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
We are on week 2 of the MAGA civil war over the Epstein files. And the Trump administration can't get its stories straight. There was a client list, then there was no client list. They were going to release all the files, and then they decided not to release any files. So let's see what today's excuse is.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden,
Okay, cool. Cool as a cucumber. This guy's not worried about a thing. So let me get this straight. According to Trump, all the top Democrats got together and said, let's create some fake files that destroy Trump's political career. They don't ever use them. They let Trump get elected. Don't use them. Let Trump get elected again. Still don't use them. And then once he's the president, hope he releases the files without ever looking at them. Frankly, that plan sounds so inconceivably bad, I do believe the Democrats might have come up with it. But Trump clearly wants everyone to move on. And after initially pushing back, some of them are getting the message.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
Wait a minute. The balls in their hands, he says? Probably not the phrase I would use when talking about the Epstein files. The ball's in their hands. The shaft is in the courts. The taint is in the bread basket. What the are we doing here? A phrase you don't hear conspiracy theorists, free thinkers utter a whole lot is, I'm going to trust my friends in the government on this one. Clearly, this issue has MAGA on its heels, which means now is the time for Democrats to strike. Democrats, show us what you got.
Congressman Hank Johnson coming to give you some more ear candy or perhaps an earache.
Epstein died by suicide. You must be blind. You've been telling us you released the file, but where are they?
Maybe I was too harsh on the J6 choir. I just feel for his poor aides who probably spent all week having to help him with this. Like, Rebecca, quick, give me a list of all the words that rhyme with suicide, please. But it's a fluid situation right now, and MAGA is trying to wrap their heads around it because they have a lot of unanswered questions.
There are a lot of unanswered questions, but the biggest question is just what on earth is going on?
I don't know what's happening.
It doesn't make sense.
I can't reconcile this Donald Trump with the Trump that we're seeing right now, the Trump that is gaslighting the public right now.
Why is Donald Trump refusing to release the Epstein files and telling everyone to shut up and move on. Well, okay. Let me offer one possible theory. Perhaps you've heard of Occam's razor. It's the idea that the most simple explanation is probably the correct one. In the case of Trump and the Epstein files, let's call our theory Occam's giant f***ing machete. By now, you've probably heard that Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein's partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, used to be friends. But it's worth understanding how close this friendship was.
Trump says he's known Epstein since the late 80s, and pictures from the 90s show the president with Maxwell, who became Epstein's girlfriend.
They were neighbors in Palm Beach. At one point, Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago.
It's party time at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and among the guests, Jeffrey Epstein. Trump and Epstein can be seen ogling the cheerleaders. Trump points one of them out and says, "She's hot." Then he says something in Epstein's ear that has the financier doubled up in laughter.
Now. Okay, now. Hey. What did Trump say? It's impossible to know. And Donald Trump and Epstein didn't just party together. They were neighbors. Epstein said he was Trump's closest friend for 10 years. In fact, Epstein's infamous Little Black Book included 14 different numbers for Trump and his representatives. I mean, he had 14 separate ways to contact Donald Trump. I mean, when I drop my kid off at camp, I give 2 emergency contact numbers. And one of them is fake because I don't need the hassle, all right? And these guys didn't just party together. Epstein was a part of some major milestones in Trump's life.
Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump.
Trump was a frequent passenger on Epstein's plane, known as the Lolita Express. And Epstein told author Michael Wolff, "The first time he slept with Melania was on my plane."
And that is how I met your mother, Baron. Any questions? I'll tell you, next time you're on a flight with a crying baby, just think about how much worse it could be. All right. So right now, you might be thinking, fine, they were friends. They hung out. That doesn't mean Trump knew about what Epstein was doing. And you know what? Maybe not. But he clearly had some idea.
In a 2002 interview with New York Magazine, Trump showered praise on Epstein, calling him a, quote, terrific guy, and saying, "It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
Do you know how creepy with women you have to be for Donald Trump to pick up on it? I mean, that's a real your drunk friend taking the car keys from you moment. And you can still say, so what? They were close friends. They were Mile High Club pals. That still doesn't mean that Trump is in the files. And maybe. But after Jeffrey Epstein died in prison, the only person left who knew all his secrets was Ghislaine Maxwell. And when she got charged with sex trafficking, Trump's response was surprisingly sympathetic.
I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
You wish her well? Is that the right response? I think there's a reason they don't have that section in the Hallmark store. It's not there. It's not. Let's be clear. Law and Order SVU doesn't start like, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous, and we wish the perpetrators well. Dun dun. Okay, you know what? You want to take another shot at it? Maybe even more flailing and desperate?
Yeah, I wish you well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. And I do wish you well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody.
What are you talking about? You wish bad things on everybody. Suddenly you're wishing Ghislaine well? You were harder on Kristen Stewart for cheating on Robert Pattinson. So, to sum up, to all the MAGA people who are so confused about why Trump doesn't want to release any of these files, maybe the answer has something to do with Occam's giant f***ing machete.